Rip me. It'll take a while for him to get in here. If you're watching after the fact. Alright. I can tell there's anyone here. This is so bad. Get! That's weird. I got 2 people giving 3 likes. What I realized was this. Like a year ago, okay, so I first got an orthodontist when I was like in my 50s, which is a little late by most yardsticks. So and because my teeth were never like terrible, they were always like, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I never wanted to deal with braces or anything of that nature when I was a teenager. So I had like the gap right here. I can't talk like this. I can't. Ow! 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 And then I was like, I think that's a tax. That has to be a tax write-off. That is for sure. That's a tax write-off. Like now, instead of like my sole source of income, now my face is also off. So yeah, why don't I go for like the whole, dude, like backing up into me. Why don't I go for like the whole what's it called, Invisalign thing? And I did that like last year, and my teeth slowly started coming together. What I did not know when I signed up for it was that I have to wear retainers at night. And he said, oh, you're gonna, like when I was like, having, he's like, you have to wear retainers at night. I said, how long? He's like, for as long as you want your teeth not to go back to where they were. So that's up to you. I'm like, yeah, that sounded like the rest of my life. That's really sounded like that. And I have never been good at it. He said, you only have to wear them at night. And I've never been good at it. Like, never good about it. Because they're just like annoying and uncomfortable. And it's harder for me to fall asleep with them. But every once in a while, I'll look at my teeth and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they're like slipping back apart again. So I'll like cram my retainer in there. And wow, that is like if you take a human body and try like putting it on a rack and stretching it, while you basically have like one of those bruisers from hockey, just like hip checking the body, just boom, 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 boom. That's what it felt like was going on in my teeth. That was really painful stuff. It is really painful. I do not recommend. I do not recommend leaving out your retainer for like wow, that is painful. Ugh. She's never driving me around, Chris. She's never driving me around. It's always me driving. That's the stupidity of this whole thing. It's always me driving. Anyway, I'm doing a short stream now, so I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm doing a short stream now. I usually stream to locals. I stream to locals when I drive to the mountains, is what I'm doing now. So I'll stream to locals, and then and that way if they're going to give me like content there. But the problem that I have is that like 40% of the way up, I lose reception completely for like 10% of the time. So I'm like, do I leave it dead? It's sort of like this whole fuzzy thing happening there. And then I realized the best way to handle that is on one side of the trip, I'll start here on YouTube. And when I hit my dead spot, I'll shut off YouTube. And when I get out of my dead spot, Christina Aguilera wants me to get off in 1 month. When I get out of my dead spot, I'll just start at my locals. And that's a good way to do it. This way, it's sort of like a reminder to those of you who only really know me on YouTube that, hey, I do locals too. So, that's my way of saying that in like 40 minutes or so, I'm going to be shutting this thing off here. taking a 10-minute break and going to locals. 10, 15 minutes while I'm driving through my dead spot, and then I'm going to turn on locals for like the last hour of my trip. So I just wanted to give you that heads up. Can you guys hear Waze giving me direction, or you don't hear? I never know how it's going, how that'll work when I hear things in my headphones. I don't know if that transmits to you guys. So, good afternoon. Oh, you don't? Okay. Because I have Waze, which is like my Google Maps version. They used to be much better than they are. They give bad directions now sometimes. But they have different voice actors that give different things, and you can download and put it in. So I have Christina Aguilera basically guiding me to the Catskills. Okay, so on hate speech and time travel. I was just on Twitter and I came across something that I never thought I would hear of in my lifetime. And that was, apparently in Sweden, they have scheduled a Torah burning. Supposedly in Sweden, they've scheduled a Torah burning. I never thought I would live to see Western civilization engaging in a Torah burning. So, on the thread that I saw, someone commented saying that this is not hate speech. Which, all right, we need to talk about what hate speech means. Because hate speech really doesn't mean anything. It's the most meaningless thing in the world. What makes something hateful? If you have any questions whether hate speech has meaning or not, just look at what the left has been calling hate speech for the last God knows how long. They've been calling everything hate speech. There's no such thing. It's not a defined term. There's no way you could define it. The same way that court judges have been struggling how to distinguish between art and pornography, which has basically, as one judge opined, I cannot tell you the difference between art and pornography, but I know it when I see it. Which only goes to show how utterly subjective it is. Similarly, when it comes to hate speech, there is no way to properly define hate speech, which is why, as an American, I say, I don't care whether something gets labeled hate speech. I don't care if it's the most hateful speech in the world. American law must allow for it. It must allow people to engage in it. It should not be unlawful for anyone to engage in hate speech. Hate speech is awful, it is ugly, it is gross, it is disturbing. But hate speech should not be illegal. It should not be a crime. And and if for no other reason than the fact that hate speech is utterly undefinable. But even if we could find some way to define it, it's just that, speech. And trying to enslave a people to stop them, control their minds through their speech is the most un-American thing imaginable. So, I saw one person say this is not hate speech. And I'm going to tell you my personal opinion as a practicing Jew on this issue. Is burning a Torah hate speech? A lot of Jews probably would say no. My personal opinion on it is, if we took me, my wife, children, father, every relative I know, lined us all up, and then extended out to my cousins, second cousins, everyone who's ever prayed in my synagogue, and lined us all up in a big long row, and then had every one of their first cousins and second cousins come with them and lined us all up in a row, stripped us naked, spat in our faces while calling us dirty, whatever slur you want to throw in there, and then let us get redressed and go on our way. All 10,000, 100,000 of us. If that happened, I would find that less offensive hate speech than burning one Torah. Okay? So you want to talk about whether or not it's hate speech? It's damn well, if anything is hate speech, it's damn well, to me, it's damn well hate speech. Tell me it's not hate speech. The reason you're burning a Torah is basically to say that everything I value and hold dear should be utterly destroyed and wiped from the earth. That is the only reason you engage in something like that. And yeah, 10 minutes of momentary unpleasantness experienced by me and everyone I know, love, and hold dear would be less offensive hate speech than that act. That's how bad hate speech it is. So, does that mean it should be illegal? Nope. It should not. It should not be illegal. It should be completely legal. If I saw someone do it, I would want to pummel them within an inch of their lives. There you go. Now, will you see the JDL scream about this? Maybe because of like a pro forma type of thing, ADL, or all these other Jewish defense organizations. I don't know. Maybe they've cried out about it. I can tell you this: half the people bringing them torches and gasoline would be people who have Jewish DNA in them, because they hate Torah more than anybody. They're the most furious ones at Torah. So, yeah, they probably would say, no, that's not hate speech. I'm sure they would say that's not hate speech. That's expressing an opinion about a religion. So that's my thought on it. My shock sound shot? Really? So, I don't even understand the perspective that it's not hate speech. It's true, even against the Jews, it's Jews. No, it's one of the most important figures in Jewish history that you may not have heard of. You all heard of Moses, you heard of Aaron, you heard of Solomon. One of the most important figures in Jewish history that you may not have heard of is a rabbi named Rabbi Akiva, who lived roughly 2,000 years ago. He lived during during the construction of the second temple. So it was like basically 1900 to 1900 to 2,000 years ago. And he was irreligious until he turned 40 and became one of the legendary scholars of all time, and arguably preserved Judaism at a time when Judaism almost was like observance of Jewish faith was wiped from the earth. And he said that before he was religious, he said when I was irreligious, if I saw a religious Jew, I would go over and bite them like a donkey. And they asked him, his students asked him, don't you mean like a dog? And he said, no, like a donkey, because a dog lets go and a donkey never does. A donkey clamps down, doesn't let go. And he finished that off with saying, and the women are even more passionate about it. So that's the level. So as far as like irreligious Jews having a deep hatred for religious Jews, that is not a new thing by any stretch of the imagination. That has gone on for literally thousands of years. That's just the nature of the beast. Anyway, thought I'd share that with you. I'm getting a lot of this whole wait, Joe's driving thing. Anyway, those of you who joined late, I'm just letting you know, I'm driving now up to the mountains. It's like a 2-hour drive. Around 40 minutes into it, I hit a huge dead spot. My objective is that when I'm coming to that dead spot, I am going to end this stream here on YouTube, and when I get out of the dead spot, which will take like 10-15 minutes, should take that, I plan on starting up a local stream where I'm going to continue at depth from there. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up as to what the plan was here. Hey, Valhalla, I don't know. I'm not asking anyone to send a super chat. I just don't. I want to be clear. Since I'm streaming from my phone, I don't even know if I would know if someone sent a super chat. I don't know how it looks when I'm streaming from a phone. I've never streamed from a phone since I was monetized. I've only streamed from a phone when I was that's my headphone. I don't know what it would look like. Now it could be, I don't know what it looks like, because literally there hasn't been like even a $2 super chat, which is fine. I don't care about that. I just don't want anyone to be offended if I don't pull up your super chat, because I'm not going through StreamYard right now. I'm going directly through YouTube itself. There you go, testing for Joe. Been there, done that. All right, thank you. I don't know if I would find it, like if I wasn't glancing at the screen when that happened. You guys, we're good. Thank you so much. Yeah, Finn, thank you for the thing there. All right, I just want to make sure that if something popped up, that I was worried that I would, like, someone's gonna send me like a $50 super chat, and would be like, they'd be like, dude, how do you not read a $50 super chat? It's just like freaking rude. So I didn't want to. I just wanted to know what the status was. Yeah, it's live, Janelle. I'm live. All right. So the other thing I want to cover here, I just wanted to give my thoughts about what is and what is not hate speech, and where I stand on the whole hate speech thing, especially with this scheduled Torah verdict. And so, yeah. Is it hate speech? Yeah. It's in Sweden, so it doesn't matter as far as like what's legal, what's illegal. What I would say is, God forbid, I never thought I would live to see the day of that happening in Western society. But, and is it hate speech? 1,000%. Is it protected speech? 1,000%. There should be nothing criminal in it, even though it is the most loathsome. It's pretty much the most loathsome act I can imagine someone doing. So, like, I would be like praying that, like, you know, lightning would strike them dead, like, on the spot, even though I would never be expecting something like that. But like, I'd be sitting there. Speaking of which, yesterday was July 13th. There was actually a mural of George. That's called, amongst some people, like George Floyd Day. I don't know if you heard about this, because there was a mural of George Floyd, which on July 13th, it was struck by lightning and the wall came down. Man, imagine seeing the video of that. I don't think it's on video, but they just, it was either struck by lightning or some vandals were really top level ninja stuff. They like went out in a thunderstorm and just like beep, beep, beep. I mean, not that I wish ill will on George Floyd. I just think that sanctifying him as some kind of saint is offensive to every person of every race. The Penguins do know. Anyway, so happy George Floyd Memorial Day. I remember that day only because it was my mother's birthday. So when I saw someone like saying, "Hey, everyone, get ready for July 13th, George Floyd Memorial Day." You follow his name with PBUH. So, all right, so where was I? Yeah, the time travel. When I was trying to figure out which I talked about on my way up here, I was like, oh, let me go through like different clips that I thought to share on one of my shows this week that I never got around to sharing. So it's like, so I saw this short with Neil Tyson deGrasse. I am convinced that this guy is the greatest con man on earth. I think Neil Tyson deGrasse is the greatest con man on earth. I think like Rasputin level type of thing. I would not be surprised if Neil Tyson deGrasse never went to college. Like literally biggest scam artist of the last century, where he's just like holds himself out as this brilliant astrophysicist. And he gets all these gigs, and I'm not, just for defamation purposes, I am not making that claim about him. I'm simply saying, if we learn that all of his credentials were completely manufactured, I wouldn't giggle, I would laugh uproariously for 5 minutes straight, but I would not be surprised. Because I really feel as if like he basically spent a week binge watching various movies about space and documentaries and things of that nature. Read like a couple of books about time travel, like 2 or 3 books about geology and atmosphere. Oh, thank you, Janelle. You're too kind for the gas money. That's really, really kind of you. And then I would not. Oh wow! It actually locks on the bottom to let me know in case I miss it. That's really cool. Thank you so much for the gas money, Janelle. I appreciate it. I actually need stuff for this. Wouldn't that be like the best joke in the world? Wouldn't that be like the funniest thing? If my God, if it turned out that he never actually spent 10 minutes in college. Oh my God. Oh my God. Because some of the stuff that he's talking about, he says with such an air of confidence. Well, you know why the Egyptians, I think the historical, well, we know that it's impossible for humans. All right, so consider this for a moment, all right? Work with me on this. We know it's impossible for humans, for the human body to lift any weight that has density greater, and you can look this up, it has weight density greater than 300 pounds per square inch. The Rock, and they did testing on the rock that was lining the interior of the pyramids. It has a weight density of, are you ready for this? It has a weight density of 1,850 pounds per square inch. Yeah. Yeah. So now you tell me, do if humans built the pyramids, how'd that happen? How's that happen? And no one knows any of these facts that he throws out there. And he says it with such an air of like, everyone knows, and you can look this up. Yeah, I'm going to throw like a whole bunch of facts at you that nobody knows to be true. And I'll throw in like one or two things that seem relatively familiar to a concept you've heard of before, and I can see, okay, and then he'll throw out some like solid number in there, like 1,850 pounds per square inch, with a nice little gravitas of a buildup of like, are you ready for this? Okay, so this, and it sounds so compelling. You're like, oh, wow, this guy's like the smartest human who's ever lived. Why am I bringing up Neil Tyson deGrasse? It's because I saw a short. What's happening? What's happening? Oh my God, what's happening? That's my Jerry Seinfeld voice. So come on, Yafi, you just distracted me. Now I lost my train of thought. Yeah, Neil Tyson deGrasse talking about time travel. All right. And all of a sudden, we start getting into Einstein's theory of relativity. And he starts explaining that time travel in the future, yeah, that we can do that. That we're going to be able to do that. That we'll be able to do. Because what you simply need to do, what we recognize is if we make people move closer to the speed of light, time will slow down for them, and thereby they will age more slowly than you or I, and they will jump into the future. Oh, he said, so that's easy peasy right there. I mean, time travel in the future, easy peasy. But time traveling into the past, that's something, he said, that's something that we're trying to figure out whether such a thing is possible. We haven't come up with a theorem of law which would explain why that would be impossible, but it does not seem like that would be possible. Stephen Hawking has talked about it. This is him talking. This is Neil talking. Stephen Hawking has explored that, but he never came up with a principle which would justify why it should be impossible, but we're anticipating we're going to find that because we don't believe that it's possible. So, I'm listening to this, and I know where he's going with this whole theory of relativity thing, because I explored this. I explored this a year and a half ago. Half a mile turn right. Why am I turning right? I think I do need to get gas. I'm going to stop for gas. One of the sick things about the state of New Jersey, if you don't live in the state of New Jersey, one of the sick things is it's illegal to pump your own gas. That's right. Pampers. If I have any cash on. Yeah. Can you fill me up, please? Cash.
Regular for now?
Regular, yeah. Okay. So he's explaining. Yeah, I'm not making that up, Patriot Wheel. It's illegal to pump your own gas in New Jersey. Why? I don't know. But this actually touches into a topic that I've been meaning to talk about for a long time, which is the one topic that Tucker Carlson is dead wrong about. 100% dead wrong about. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to get to that before I get to my dead spot. But I'll try to cover that at some point during this drive. Maybe during the dead spot, maybe before, maybe after, I'm not sure. So that okay. Roughly a year and a half ago, I was doing an episode of Viewer's Discretion, and I was talking about Einstein's theory of relativity and explaining how dumb everything he was saying was, how it doesn't make any sense, how it is I don't even understand how people who are purportedly hyper intelligent, the most educated and enlightened minds of our time, cannot see the very easy flaw in everything that they are, in everything fundamental to the theory of relativity. And I got into fights about Heisenberg principle, the Doppler effect, GPS systems. How much is that? No. I'm not just gonna give you it's $24.78. I'm gonna tell you what, my friend, here. I'm not just gonna give you the 25. I'm gonna give you $1 tip. Alright? That's all for you. Oh, that's all for you. Oh, that's 10. Whoa. That was very clever of me, right? That's really funny. I'll give you 25 and I give him like 16. Man, that's like the greatest scam on earth. Alright, sorry about that. I thought I gave you a 20. No, sorry. That was really funny. That was actually pretty genius. Alright. There you go, 26, my friend. Have a good day. That was really funny. It is legal to drive and stream as long as you're not holding your phone. Yeah. I can't believe I almost just robbed him of $9. That was hilarious. Okay, everyone, here's the thing. Everyone just accepts a very fundamental premise, which makes no sense to accept. 0 sense to accept. Whenever they get into the theory of relativity, and I covered this, I'm not going to spend like 4 hours talking about this right now, okay? Maybe I'll review it, because it's been a while. Maybe I'll review it on Sunday night on my next episode of Viewer's Discretion. But, turn right. I'm going to turn right. I don't know why they sent me this way. The problem with the theory of relativity is that what he did was basically he started talking about if you were traveling at the speed of, if you're traveling, let's say you're traveling really fast. You're looking in a mirror. Well, you see yourself in the mirror. And then as you, let's say you start traveling faster and faster and faster, you would start seeing yourself, you would still see yourself in the mirror. But what happens when you start traveling? Well, how are you able to see yourself in the mirror? Because you're reliant on light. But what happens when you're moving at the speed of light? Another way he looked at it was he basically said, imagine there are anyway, so he basically starts going through. He uses speed time velocity factor, and he basically says the only variable that you can work with in order to account for the fact is that time itself must be changing in order for a person to be able to see themselves when they're moving faster than the speed of light. That's essentially what it comes down to. The time for them is going slower because they're going faster. So since they're going faster, time is going slower. The problem with this entire principle, and the reason, the obvious flaw that is staring anyone who thinks about this in the face is, they start with a premise, which is a premise that the speed of light must be constant. That the speed of light is always constant, rather than accepting for the very real possibility, nay, not real possibility, likelihood, that light can go faster than the speed of light. Bum, bum, bum. And if you emit light from something that is in motion, that speed it's starting at would give it a faster speed. Now, light is moving so quickly that you would not perceive that. It's going 186,000 miles per second. So if someone is going 186,000.00000000001 miles, you would not perceive that distinction. But the constant speed of light is something that is a shocking thing, because nothing else ignores the force behind it other than light. What makes light so different? What makes ignore rules of nature? Or that light affects time. Or that light affects reality. If there is pitch blackness, there is still reality. Imagine if every light source in the world was completely cut off. Does that mean that there would no longer, that everything would cease to function? Yeah, everything would die, because we're dependent on it for the survival of the species. But if the species was rewired so as to not be dependent on heat and light or whatever, so would that mean that reality would cease to exist if all the lights were turned off? It makes no sense. It's illogical. This is something that I think anyone, if you think about it for like 30 seconds, recognizes that this entire thing, if you ask me, the whole thing was a scam. Okay? Why can there be no light? Just because you can't look, that's like when people say there's no life absent light. That's like saying, hey, if you put someone, when you put money in a vault, it disappears because there's no light in the vault. What the hell does that even mean? That's like what my 2-year-old grandson thinks. That when you put a blanket over his head and the whole world disappears. And these are the top minds in the world are basically saying that absent light, everything just stops. Why? Why would that be? I have no idea where I'm driving right now. I'm not going to kid you. I'm supposed to be on a highway the entire time, and Christina Aguilera told me to get off the highway, and I don't know where she's sending me. But I'm like in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea what town I'm in. I'm just waiting for her to tell me to turn. Because when I'm streaming, I can't really just go to my Waze app and see where the heck it's sending me. I have no idea if she's going to tell me to turn in 2 blocks or in 20 miles. I really hope she's not. I don't know where she's sending me. I'm very curious where she's sending me. Yeah, if a tree falls in the dark, does it fall in the ocean? Is that what happens to it? Does it fall into the void? Into the nothingness? If a tree falls in a dark forest, does it turn to splinters? Oh, okay. You might not know you're moving and be moving. Let me tell you something. The last time you took a nap in a car, you were moving and didn't know it. A lot of times, you. Let me tell you something else. In the last 10 seconds, in the last 2 seconds, you moved 10 miles. Because the earth was rotating. You just didn't know it. You don't need to know you're in motion to be in motion. But we're revolving at a rate of 5 miles per second. You don't feel it because you're on that car your entire life. Your entire lifespan is spent on that car that's moving, that we call Earth. It's on that vehicle that we call Earth, which is in constant rotation. So you're born on a rolling ball, and it keeps rolling at the same speed, so you never notice that it's rolling. You're not stationary, Brandon. Shut up. It's not early Joe because I don't stream on Friday nights. This is my way of indoctrinating people into locals, okay? I'm being crystal clear. I'm not hiding the ball here. Unlike Einstein, who was clearly very much trying to hide the ball with his made-up theories that when there's darkness, all of a sudden, existence fades into the void. It's not even that life dies, that nothing exists. What am I doing here? I'm in Muncie. How did I end up in Muncie? How am I supposed to know when I'm hitting my dead zone if I'm not on the regular highway? All right, at a certain point, I'm going to hit a dead zone. I do not know if that's going to be in 5 minutes or that might be in 20 minutes. But when I hit that dead zone, I am killing this YouTube stream. And when I get out of that dead zone, I am going into my local stream. I have a local stream that's set up there that you can go to goodlogic.locals.com. You'll be able to join me over there. That's for my second half of the trip stream. Where the heck? Oh, I see where. So I'm just letting you all know that I'm going to be continuing this when I get out of my, and I'll be like on for like 45 minutes to an hour after I get out of my dead zone. But on the New York State Thruway, when you're between exits 15 and 16, there's like a 10-mile dead zone where the reception will stink and you won't be able to hear me, and it's going to sound like Neil Tyson. It's like, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense to it. So I'm going to cut it when I hit my dead zone and resume on locals. I hope you'll join me over there, because I'm being very overt and direct and saying I need to remind you guys that I stream to locals. But it does look like there's traffic. Oh my God, you see that traffic there? Oh my God. So I'm a little bit away from my dead spot still. So someone just, yeah, Christina Aguilera is the voice she just said to turn left. I'm getting on the thruway right now. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so the same way I do not believe that all existence fades into nothing as soon as there's pitch blackness. I don't believe that you throw a blanket over my face that you're gone. And that's what I feel like Einstein and Stephen Hawking and Neil Tyson deGrasse are all in on this big giant scam, that this is what we could tell people who didn't waste years of their lives studying the science, which is all theoretical astrophysics. Ooh, aren't you so Sheldon Cooper-esque? Please. I got no patience for this. Anybody got time for that? That's that. I feel like my brakes are whistling, which is not a good sign. But that's the thing. So if you're going faster than light, you know what would happen there? You're in darkness. That's what happens. Assuming that you're correct. Assuming you're correct. That light cannot speed up, which sounds so stupid and so inconceivable that alone is the most unique thing in the world. Yeah, the chemicals in your body, they're all able to move the speed of light or faster than the speed of light, but for one reason or another, light itself, nah, that can't go. That just can't. So, anyway, I didn't mean to get into the whole thing about, I didn't want to fixate exclusively on the speed of light because we're talking about time travel here. And Neil Tyson deGrasse's claim that, oh yeah, moving forward in time travel moving forward in time, that's a breeze. That's nothing. We could do that. Oh yeah. No, we could. I'm doing that, right? I've done that over the last hour. I've been moving forward in time. I went about 60 minutes forward in time. But moving backward in time, he says that would be the difficulty. That would be the difficulty. So I'm going to ask you this. If this is true, that moving faster would slow things down, first of all, I don't know, you wouldn't really be jumping into the future. You would just be, even if time was moving slower for you, if such a thing existed and time was moving slower for you, so the impact on you is that you age less. Which I'm not sure why that would be, but let's assume that that's okay. Let's assume that that's not stupid. If you're being impacted less, does that mean that you're jumping into the future? No. Imagine you're moving at the speed of light, but not going like thousands of miles away, but literally moving in a circle and somehow not getting insanely dizzy. Literally moving in a circle like that's like 3 feet. It's got a 3-foot diameter and spinning at the speed of light. Do you think that would move you forward in time, or do you just have to be running away from light? This is a really great question that no one really asks. I don't know if any scientist has ever thought of this question before. It's possible one or two have, but I just want you to consider this. Every time someone talks about moving at the speed of light, well, if you're now the light source that's coming at you is the speed of that light being able to hit you and reflect to you yourself, or enable you to see your hand, or reflect your own reflection in a mirror, it can't catch up and bounce back to you. And since you're in darkness, because it can't catch up to you, which, A, you would not be in darkness. You would not at all be in darkness. The reason you wouldn't be in darkness is because you would be catching up to old light. Why would you not be catching up to old light? Meaning light that... It takes 8 minutes for light to reach us from the sun, right? So, a particle on a light beam, what does that mean? It means if you take one particle on a light beam, and now it's traveling from the sun to here, it would take 8 minutes to reach us. So, after it's been traveling for 4 minutes, now it's 4 minutes along, 5 minutes along. It gets to 6 minutes along. Is there light on Earth at this point? Yes. Why is there light on Earth at this point? The reason there's light on this Earth is because there's another light particle which left 2 minutes earlier. Right? That light particle is ahead of our main protagonist light particle, and now we have the one that it's losing the race to, that light particle which is 2 minutes ahead. Well, if you can move forward in time by slowing things down, by going so fast that you're going faster than the speed of light, why would you not ultimately catch up to that light particle that's a minute or two ahead and be using that light particle to see yourself in the mirror? Oh, that's true. There's quintillions of light particles that are coming forward every millisecond. Why do I need to use this light particle rather than a different light particle? That's different. That's a conundrum. I expressed this once before. I talked about this once before, and Dan, come to watch a Lady Logic drive Joe around. Lady Logic is where I'm driving to. I am driving to her, in her direction. Yes, I've got a license. I'll show you my license. I look like such a thug in this picture. But what I like about this is you can actually, there's a picture of me pre-beard. Pre-beard. Look at that. Pre-beard. I'm in traffic. So there you go. Yeah. It's weird, right? Unbearded. Unbearded. I don't look like a serial killer. Thank you, Steve. Steve, are you with me on this whole thing? Are you with me about catching up to light particles that are ahead of you? It makes perfect sense that that's what would happen. It also makes perfect sense to say that, hey, you know what? Maybe light can move at variable speeds if you speed it up. That light's not stuck moving at one speed. That if it's moving from a stationary object like the sun, it would not be going at the same speed as, let's say, if it was moving on a spaceship, if it was coming out of a spaceship that was going at warp speed. I'm not at my dead spot, but I'm getting there. I told you all, those of you who joined late, when I get to my dead spot, I'm ending this stream. When I get out of my dead spot, I will resume streaming on Locals at goodlogic.locals.com. And I'll be there for 45 minutes to an hour. My dead spot is normally 5 to 10 minutes, but as you can see, I am stuck in traffic. So it might take more than 10 minutes for me to get through the dead spot. I'm like 8 miles away from Route 17, which is the road that I'm on for like 45 minutes an hour until I get to the mountains. So, these 8 miles usually take like 5 to 7 minutes or so, and I'm in traffic, so I don't know how long it's going to take. time is on my mind. I've really been streaming for 50 minutes. Wow, that's so long. Mine is an 800. I don't know what that means. It's not the LIE. This is the New York State Thruway one. Anyway, but I think I asked a rather poignant question. Because people say if you move faster than the speed of light, that there will be no light. That you will move fast. That time will start to slow down for you. Let's say you're moving like a little bit slower than the speed of light. Just a tiny. You're moving 1 mile per second slower than the speed of light. Are you telling me that time is not? I guess the theory that they say is as you get closer and closer to the speed of light, the time starts to slow down. So that's not a good question. But let's say instead of moving away from light, I'm moving in a circle, a 3-foot in diameter circle, and start moving really fast until I get to the speed of light. Are you gonna tell me that I'm now gonna go faster than you? I'm now time traveling? Think of how stupid that sounds. I'm basically moving the speed of light like some Native American doing a rain dance, like the most awesome rain dance ever, or like the Flash, like when he's tripping, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, totally going forward in time now. Doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. So this is what everyone. Okay, what Perseverance is saying now. That's what Nick and Uncivil were throwing at me. The GPS navigation satellites they do time dilation in the way that they calculate. So that proved to us that purportedly proved to us that Einstein was correct. I struggled with this one for a while. I really want to see the data on it. As to how much, so I'm sort of thinking this through. But here's the thing. If I'm moving... What's built into this concept is that the concept of a stationary object. Right? Is that? So I'm sort of thinking this through, and I'm like, if you're dealing with like a according to the big Große Mumche, Neil Tyson deGrasse, and before any of you turn that in a racist way, Große Mumche is Yiddish for big expert. I think I'm coming to my dead spot. Okay, so according to the Große Mumche, Neil Tyson deGrasse, I guess it would work like irrational numbers work. Because if you're moving faster and faster at the speed of light, that would somehow make you go forward in time. So if you were going conversely, in like irrational number type of way, more and more stationary. You see, that's the other thing. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't think of this. You know, in the analogy that we always talk about with respect to the speed of light, what if I'm moving toward the light? What if I start moving toward the speed of light at the speed of light? What if I start moving toward light at the speed of light? So if you're going to at the speed and you're taking an 8-minute trip toward the sun, so by that logic, time would be slowing down for you. I really think I'm hitting my dead spot. This is just about it. I'm gonna pick this thought. I'm gonna digest this. I'm gonna digest it, and then I'm gonna pick this up on Locals. It's goodlogic.locals.com. Traffic seems to have cleared up, so I'm hoping to be there in like 10-15 minutes or so. Goodlogic.locals.com. Bless you all. Peace out.